Okay, so imagine you wake up tomorrow and your shower doesn't work. Your car won't start, and your entire country's economy is basically freezing. Sounds dramatic? Yeah, but that's literally what's happening right now in parts of the world because of one thing: oil. And not just oil, whose oil? And more specifically, who's fighting over it? Welcome back to Wealth with Frank, where we take insane real-world money problems and break them down like your friend who actually understands economics. That's not me, but I'm trying. Today's story? Why the USA and Iran are basically locked in an economic chess match that's making gas prices weird, shipping slower, and potentially breaking the global money system, and why you should probably care. Let me set the scene. Picture your buddy Trevor. Trevor drives a 2012 Honda Civic. He's not rich, he's not poor, he's just Trevor. Lives paycheck to paycheck, complains about gas prices at the coffee shop, you know the type. One day, Trevor pulls up to the pump and notices something weird. The price is higher than usual, and he's like, why though? Did oil companies wake up and decide to be extra evil today? Trevor looks at the news. Nothing major happened in America. No refinery explosion, no hurricane in the Gulf of Mexico. So what gives? The answer: a guy Trevor has never met, living thousands of miles away, had a problem with another guy Trevor's never met. And somehow, that affected how much Trevor paid for his latte fuel combination. That's today's story. Okay. Quick history lesson that doesn't feel like a history lesson. I promise. The USA and Iran have had tension for like decades. There was a revolution in 1979, American hostages, secret programs, economic sanctions, the whole drama. Think of it like your divorced parents who still argue at Thanksgiving, except with nuclear programs and oil reserves. In 2015, things got slightly better. World powers made a deal with Iran called the JCPOA, or basically, we promise not to make nuclear weapons and you guys promise to lift some of the economic punishment. Sounds good, right? Peace vibes. Everyone gets to trade. Oil flows. Trevor's gas is cheaper. Then in 2018, plot twist. A different US president said, nah, we're out, and basically put Iran in an economic chokehold. Sanctions got brutal. Now, if you're thinking, why should I care? They're like 8,000 miles away, then buckle up, because this is where global economics gets freaky. Iran has the world's fourth largest oil reserves. Let me explain why that matters in 3 words. The world runs on it. Planes? Oil. Trucks? Oil. Plastics in your phone? Oil. That weird jelly stuff you put in your hair? Oil. Probably. When the USA cranked up sanctions on Iran, they basically said, nobody's allowed to buy Iran's oil. We're going to punish any country that does. Deal with it. This is where it gets bonkers. Iran was selling like 2.5 million barrels of oil before sanctions. After, that number plummeted to like 100,000 barrels a day. Imagine being a worker who suddenly lost 97% of your paycheck. That's what happened to Iran's economy. But here's the thing that affects Trevor and you and literally everyone. When 2 million barrels disappear from the global market, that's 2 million barrels that someone else has to make up for. And when supply goes down, prices go up. It's the most basic economic rule. It's like if coffee became illegal, but you still needed it. Someone selling coffee illegally would charge like $50 a cup. So, gas gets more expensive, shipping gets more expensive, everything that moves anything gets more expensive. And that ripples through the entire global economy. Let's zoom out for a second. Iran can't sell oil, so its currency, the rial, becomes basically worthless. Imagine your dollar suddenly being worth 1/10 of what it was. Your savings? Gone. Your salary? Doesn't cover rent anymore. People panic. They're like, Iran's going to go crazy, destabilize the region, and possibly do something desperate, which is exactly what geopolitics experts are terrified of. Other oil-producing countries see this chaos and think, we should probably keep our oil closer to home, less risk.
So global oil trading gets weird and unstable. Prices fluctuate like a teenager's mood swings.
Now let's talk about shipping and trade routes. You know the Strait of Hormuz? Fancy name for basically the world's most important oil highway. 30% of all traded oil goes through it, and it's right next to Iran. When tensions are high, shipping companies get nervous. They're like, what if Iran blocks this? What if missiles start flying? So they take longer routes, charge more, and suddenly your Amazon package costs extra to ship. Trevor ordered a coffee maker. It was supposed to arrive in 3 days. Now it's 10 days. Why? Iran. He doesn't even know Iran's involved, but it is. Here's where this gets genuinely important for how the world's money works. Global trade runs on trust. Like, countries trust that oil will be available. Banks trust that currency values will be stable. Investors trust that tomorrow won't be chaos. When Iran gets sanctioned, oil gets weird, shipping gets weird, and prices get weird. Trust starts cracking. Investors get nervous. They pull their money out of unstable markets. Companies can't predict costs, so they charge more. Banks see currencies getting unstable, so they're like, yeah, your loan is going to cost 10% more now. Thanks, Iran. But here's the kicker. It's not just Iran. It's the system. When you sanction one major oil producer, you're essentially saying global trade isn't just about economics. It's about politics. It's about power. And if you anger a superpower, they can wreck your economy. That makes every country nervous about their own vulnerability. OPEC countries start hoarding oil or restricting supply to keep prices high. Russia watches and thinks, noted, don't piss off the US. China watches and thinks, guess we need to secure our own energy sources. And suddenly, the entire framework of global trade becomes less about collaboration and more about survival. That's actually what economists call deglobalization. And it's scary because the global economy only works when everyone agrees to play nice. Right now, people are not playing nice. So let's bring it back to Trevor in reality. When oil prices spike unpredictably, everything costs more. Gas, electricity, plane tickets, delivered food, construction materials, your business's shipping costs, the retirement fund your mom invested in. When currency values go haywire, inflation happens. Your money buys less stuff. Your salary doesn't stretch as far. Savings accounts that were supposed to protect your future, suddenly they're not. When trust in global trade breaks down, companies get cautious. They hire less. Pay raises become scarce. Job security gets weird. And when geopolitical tension stays high, investments shift to safe options, which means less funding for innovation, startups, and growth. Basically, the Iran-USA tension isn't just about two countries. It's about how the entire global economy is built on a foundation of cooperation. And when that cooperation cracks, everyone feels it. Trevor doesn't need a PhD in economics to know that his gas is expensive. He just needs to experience the effect. Now, here's the thing about global economics that's actually kind of beautiful and terrifying at the same time. Countries are this close to being interdependent. Like, the USA can't actually function without oil. Middle Eastern countries can't function without buyers. Europe can't function without stable energy prices. It's all connected, which should mean that going to war or heavily sanctioning each other is economically stupid. And it usually is, but politics, pride, and power sometimes override economically stupid. And when that happens, everyone pays. The Iran sanctions probably hurt Iran the most. Their people are suffering real hardship, but they also hurt American farmers. Retaliatory sanctions. Europeans. Prices went up, trade got complicated, and yes, they hurt Trevor. Gas. The lesson here isn't Iran should have done this differently, or USA was right or wrong. Geopolitics is complicated. The lesson is the global economy is surprisingly fragile. It only works when countries decide to cooperate. When they don't, chaos spreads faster than you'd think, and you feel it before you understand why you're feeling it. So why should you care that the world's money could be in trouble right now? Because you use money every single day.
And when the global system gets stressed, it affects your money's value, what you can buy, and how secure your future feels. Trevor doesn't need a PhD in economics to understand that something's wrong when gas gets expensive. He just needs to pay attention to the connection. Everything is connected. The decisions of politicians 8,000 miles away, the supply of oil in the Middle East, the price of your coffee, the cost of shipping, your salary, your ability to save, your kids' college fund. It's all part of one massive system. And right now, that system is under stress because of decisions being made about Iran, energy, and global power. Will it break? Probably not. Global economics is surprisingly resilient, but it could get more unstable. Prices could get weirder. Uncertainty could grow, which is why understanding this stuff matters. Not because you're going to solve Iran-USA relations from your couch, but because understanding why the world works the way it does is actually how you make smarter decisions about your own money. And that's something worth caring about. So the next time you see a headline about Iran, sanctions, or oil prices, you'll know it's not just political drama. It's the global economy playing 4D chess, and you're on the board too, even if you don't realize it. Stay curious. Watch the world. And maybe fill up your gas tank when prices dip, because in economics, everything is connected.